Hello, and welcome to Math Matters. I'm Miss Ott. Today, we are going to learn about length. Let's get our brains thinking about length. This activity comes from a website called Estimation 180. The distance from Los Angeles, California to Dulles, Virginia is 2,277 miles. Let's use that information to estimate a new distance. What's the distance from Dulles, Virginia to Chicago, Illinois? Let's use what we know. The distance from Los Angeles to Dulles is 2,277 miles. How might we use that to figure out our new distance from Dulles to Chicago? Here's one way you might have thought about it. I can see that the blue line is about 1/4 of the yellow line. That tells me that the distance from Dulles to Chicago is about 1/4 of the distance from Dulles to Los Angeles. So if the Los Angeles to Dulles flight is just over 2,000 miles, then the distance from Dulles to Chicago will be about 1/4 of that. That's about 500 miles. Let's see how close our estimate was. The distance from Dulles to Chicago is 574 miles. Our estimate was close, but just a little bit low. For as long as people have lived, they have needed to measure distance. They may have needed to know how far from one town to another, or how high to build a structure. So that everyone measures in the same way, systems of measurement were developed. There are two different measurement systems used around the world. In the United States, we use what is called the customary system. Today, we'll be learning about the units of measure in the customary system. Those units are inches, feet, yards, and miles. An inch is about the length of a paperclip. A foot is about the length of a notebook. The length of a yard is about the distance from the floor to a doorknob. And a mile is 4 laps around a track. Let's use what we know to estimate. Think about a real refrigerator. What is the best estimate for the height of a refrigerator? A, 1 foot. B, 5 inches. C, 6 feet. D, 4 yards. The best estimate for the height of a refrigerator is 6 feet. What is the best estimate for the height of a ladybug? A, 1 foot. B, less than 1 inch. C, 3 yards. D, 3 inches. The best estimate for the height of a ladybug is less than 1 inch. What is the best estimate for the length of the football? A, 3 feet, B, 1 inch, C, 1 yard, D, 11 inches. The best estimate for the length of the football is D, 11 inches. What is the best estimate for the height of a bicycle? A, 10 inches, B, 1 yard, C, 8 feet, D, 3 inches. The best estimate for the height of a bicycle is 1 yard. What is the best estimate for the distance a person can walk in an hour? A, 2 miles, B, 2 yards, C, 2 inches, D, 2 feet. The best estimate for the distance a person can walk in an hour is A, 2 miles. Now that we've had some opportunities to estimate, let's do some measuring. Cameron measured a dollar bill from one of his board games. Look at the dollar bill and the ruler and think about what you notice. I notice that the dollar bill and the ruler start at the same place. This helps us get an accurate measurement. I also notice that the length of the dollar bill falls between 6 inches and 7 inches. If I were rounding this dollar bill to the nearest whole inch, I can see that the dollar bill is closest to 7 inches. But I want to know the exact measurement of the dollar bill. Let's use the ruler to get an exact measurement. If we divide the inch between 6 and 7 into 4 equal parts, I can see that the dollar bill falls on the first 3 of those 4 parts, or 3/4 of that inch. So therefore, the length of the dollar bill is all the whole inches plus 3/4 more. The length of the dollar bill is 6 3/4 inches. We can measure even more accurately when we measure to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. On a recent field trip, Dewey saw the arrowhead below. What is the length of the arrowhead to the nearest 1/8 inch? What do you notice about the arrowhead and the ruler? I can see that the edge of the arrowhead and the beginning of the ruler are lined up. This will give me a precise measurement. I can also see that the tip of the arrowhead falls between 1 inch and 2 inches. It looks closer to 2 inches if I were measuring to the nearest whole inch. I can see that each of the inches is broken up into 8 equal parts. I can see that the arrowhead is longer than 1 inch, so I know I'm going to need to think about how much longer than 1 inch the arrowhead is. I can see that the tip of the arrowhead comes down to the 5th out of 8 equal parts. That means that the arrowhead is 1 5/8 inches long. In today's episode of Math Matters, we learned about how to measure length with a ruler. See if you can find some objects around your house to measure. I'm Miss Ott. I hope you have a great day and keep on counting.